Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday Summary. I am your host, Kyle, and today we got to discuss Salah's contract situation. Reports coming out this past week suggest that Salah has reached a stalemate with FSG and Liverpool, so we'll definitely get into that. We also got to discuss the game yesterday, talk about how great of a player Luis Diaz has become, and then we'll just go to the chat and we'll chat, right? That's what we do here on the Sunday Summary. We let you guys get the reins at the end of the show, and then we get after it. If you notice today, I'm by myself, all right? It's just me. So you guys are stuck with me. I apologize about that, but here we are. All right. Well, first off, I would love to say good morning to Liz, Spence, Rob Scott, what's going on, and George. And yes, of course, Steve's late. He's actually not going to be here today. Steve's, I believe he's on a plane right now. So I want to open up the show by saying that daylight savings is an absolute horrible thing. Absolute horrible thing. Only when you lose sleep. When you gain sleep, it's a great thing. Okay, so I'm biased, but that's what we're dealing with right now. Okay. So let's jump right into this. Let's chat about Mo Salah's contract situation. Okay. I'd love to know, you guys in the chat throughout, what's going on. What's going on? What do you think? What do you think the problem is right now with Salah, his agent, Liverpool? Like, legitimately, let me know what you think. Okay. For me, since I have the stage, right? Steve's not here to interrupt me, number one. Number two, to share his thoughts. Even though I love having Steve on here because he's like I wouldn't say the polar opposite, but he definitely has different viewpoints about certain topics than me, especially when it comes to Liverpool. So I really enjoy having Steve on the show. But not today. Not today. It's just me. It's me and y'all. So here's what I think about the Salah contract situation. I made a video during the week, and the main thing for me is that Salah's been exceptional for us. Mo Salah has been, I mean, he had 4 consecutive seasons of 20 goals or more. You guys understand how difficult that is to do in the Premier League? I mean, historically, prior to Salah, 20 goals might get you the golden boot. You know what I mean? Like, up near it. Mo Salah consecutively 20 goals, season after season after season after season. So that's number one. Okay. Mo Salah himself has led this team to trophies under Klopp, of course. I think Klopp has been the main reason why we've seen such a resurgence of Salah, the system. Uh, you know, that's what I think. So part of me wants to say, why is there even a question that we're not meeting his demands? So that's the first thing. We'll delve into the second thing now, and then we'll discuss both of them. Okay. The second thing is, we have a wage structure. Everyone knows this. We have a wage structure. And if you look at the incremental increases when it comes to contract extensions, all right, you start out low and then you bump up. Let's just take Allison, for example. I'm pretty sure Allison started out at about 90K a week. He has now jumped up to 150-ish. I could be wrong about those numbers, maybe even higher than that. Then you look at players like Bobby Firmino, Mo Salah, Van Dijk. Okay, let's look at that. Bobby Firmino and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Okay, both extremely influential players in the squad. With the recent extensions, or Bobby's latest extension, they got bumped up to 180 per week. All right, Tony, what's going on? Mama Mac in the chat. Mo Salah, 200K. Van Dijk's recent bump was to 220. So you can clearly see once you get into those higher brackets, the bumps aren't as significant. And that's fine. A team can stick to their wage structure. That is completely okay. When it comes to Salah, my guess is I hope this is not what's happening. I hope they're not offering him what they offer in Van Dijk, which is 220. Okay. Because even though Van Dijk is so important to this team, I can't stress enough how important he is. Mo Salah, if we're going by the wage structure, should be offered minimum 250. Okay. I personally think he's asking for more than 300, maybe even more than 350, maybe even upwards to 400K a week. Part of me says, going back to the first part, give it to this man. Give it to this man. He's absolutely earned it. The second part, with what I was discussing just a second ago. We can't break our wage structure. We cannot expect Liverpool to break our wage structure, even for a great who's probably going to go down as a Liverpool legend. Seriously, we cannot expect them to do that. And going through this is why I love having you guys on the show. Going through all the comments on the recent video made me realize that we cannot expect to break the policies of the club for one player. No one player is bigger than the club. That is not to say that I don't love Mo Salah. Who doesn't love Mo Salah? The problem remains is that if you're having so much success at a club, if you are having so much success at a club, you're part of a winning culture, you're in the prime of your career, you're having consistent seasons of 20 plus goals. Why would you just not accept the offer? It's a pay raise. You know that. It's a lucrative offer. You're already rich. How much of this comes down to the agent? How much of this comes down to Mo Salah himself? Personally, I think it's probably mostly the agent. I don't think Salah's spiteful at all when it comes to his wage. I think it's more so about getting what he's believes he's worth, and Salah has put that in the hands of the agent. And unfortunately, maybe the agent is just trying to get as big a payday as possible, which, to be fair, he's only doing his job. I'm concerned now that this deal won't get done. Very similar to how other players have left Liverpool. Let's just take players under Klopp, for example. Let's look at Emre Can, Lallana, and Gini Wijnaldum. Let's take them all, for example. Lallana, I'm not so sure about. But I'm almost positive all three of them, we let their contracts run out. We let their contracts expire. So Liverpool don't like to sell players, at least under Klopp and FSG. We will sell players, but it seems as if you bring in a player and he does his job and he doesn't upset the dressing room, we let him stay the duration of his contract and then he walks. Let's just hypothetically say that that's the situation with Salah. We cannot reach an agreement. We cannot just let Mo Salah walk. He is way too valuable to just let Mo Salah walk. We cannot do it. We cannot do it. And that is more concerning because that would mean we have to sell him this summer. If we don't extend, he's free to negotiate with other clubs in December or January. Think about that for a second. We would have to sell him this summer. It's already March. So with that in mind, let me go over to the chat. Good morning to everyone, by the way. Let's start out with some legends here. All right. Let's go to Inglese here. Look, FSG has offered him a contract. We don't know how much they're offering him. And until we do, we can't really comment. I agree with that. But look, this show, we comment. That's the point of this show. We speculate, but we also look at it with a realistic lens. Okay? Abdul, what's going on? Ravi Beak Cherry. What a name. And Jason Chadbourne here with the truth. The club is bigger than any player, and that's kind of what I was getting at with. We can't be expected to break our wage structure. Okay? Spence says, unfortunately, we're not Oil City and don't have funny money to throw at everyone. We don't. We don't. We also have a structure in place where I feel like not a lot of clubs have that. It's more so just about if a player is significantly producing or he's a top talent, just pay him whatever he wants. It's not a smart business model. So I respect Liverpool for sticking to this if that turns out to be the case. Abdul here. Mo Salah is expendable, as crazy as that may sound. Abdul, I would love for you to elaborate a little bit on that. What do you mean by expendable? Because that's a very dangerous way to say it. Because, in my opinion, you can't just say Mo Salah is expendable given how great he's been for this club. I mean, you can't just say expendable without elaborating on it. So, just a little bit. Ravi here. We need to give Mo what he wants. For Mo Salah, it's not about the money, it's about football first. He's publicly come out and said he wants to stay. Okay. Liz says 250 plus bonus. This is where I'm at. And this is what I would expect FSG are offering him. His agent's probably looking at that amount and going, "You're joking, right?" And I think the problem lies in the fact that the agent looks at these other players, the Kevin De Bruyne's, the De Gea's, the Marcus Rashford's, and he sees these players making 300K plus. And he's saying, my client is way better than all of these players. He deserves more. That's not necessarily how this works. That's not how any of this works. You can be the best agent in the world, but you got to realize what you're dealing with. You came to the club knowing about this wage structure. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. So the respect to the agent for doing his job is there. I get it. All right. The fact of the matter is, you can't expect the club to break their wage structure just because you want your client or believe your client should be making what other clubs make. If Mo Salah is the highest paid player on our squad, let's say he gets extended, that alone should speak to the fact that we value Mo Salah more than any other player on the team, and that should be the end of it. They should not be comparing Mo Salah's pay to other players on different teams. They shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't. Each team is a different business. Okay? It's the Premier League, yes. But I can also guarantee you that we have more incentivized clauses in these contracts than most clubs. We're also more successful than most clubs. So you're going to get bonuses from winning things. Okay? You also get the benefit of playing in front of the greatest crowd in the world, arguably. You also get the benefit of playing under Jurgen Klopp. These are all intangible assets that Mo Salah gets playing for Liverpool Football Club. But again, look at Emre Can. Look at Jorginho Wijnaldum. Adam Lallana is a different scenario. I kind of want to take Adam Lallana out of the equation. We couldn't reach an agreement with these players because they thought they were worth more. To my understanding, I believe Emre Can was asking for 200K a week. To my understanding, I believe Jorginho Wijnaldum was probably asking for about the same. Okay? I get it. I get when you're a player and you've played for as long as you have. You're playing at the top level. You're consistently available. I get, and this goes for any job, any occupation, not just football, but specifically football also, because, there's increased revenues and you should be paid according to the increased revenue of the club. I get all that. But what I also get is that you cannot expect a club who has a specific wage structure in place to break that just because personally you have been great for the club. Imagine going to work. You've been at your job for 5 years, right? You've been at your job for 5 years, but the way they do raises or the way they do increases in pay, whatever, or brackets of pay is not based on years of experience, right? So where I work, they have a thing in place where it's after 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I think, something like that. In each there's a specific amount that you are required to get increased in that time. Clubs don't have that. Football clubs don't have that. Just because you've been at a club for 10 years doesn't mean you automatically get a pay bump. Right? I mean, this isn't the real world. Like, these are businesses that have to stay afloat, but also have to entice players to stay. So you can't be a Genie Wijnaldum or an Emery Chan, who are great servicemen. I liked them when they were here. You can't be players like that, but then all of a sudden expect, like, I know I'm worth this. I think that they're going to give me that. It's not going to happen. That's why those players walked. They should have been happy accepting whatever the extension was. Now, guys, listen to me. To my understanding, Jorginho Wijnaldum I think he was only getting 75K a week on his contract while he was at Liverpool. I don't think he ever extended it. I think that's what he was getting, which is absurd when you think about it. But we signed him from a relegated Newcastle. So therefore, his value wasn't as high, and we could absolutely get away with paying him 75. He probably wasn't even making that at Newcastle. It was probably a significant pay increase. So for him to ask for 200, for Emery Chan to ask for 200, is absolutely absurd when you look at the fact that Trent and Bobby Firmino, I don't think, are making that amount. Bobby might be making 200 now. But Trent, 180. Van Dijk, 220. These are publicly available wages. How are these players expecting that? You know? And that's why they left. That's why they ran their contract down and they left. I don't want to see that happen to Mo Salah. I truly believe Mo Salah is smart enough to stay with the club, to accept the contract offer. After doing research last night, I think the problem doesn't lie in Mo Salah. It lies with the agent. And that's the toxic part of sports management, is that you have agents that are in it for a payday. Let me put it to you for another example. Brokerage firms. This is the best example I could think of. Okay. You're essentially, if you're into investments and stuff and financial advisors, you pay a financial advisor or you pay your broker to take trades for you. They make a commission off the trade. So they're almost encouraged to make more trades with your account, with whatever money you've allotted them. Okay. The agent works the same way. They're enticed to get the greatest offer possible because they get a chunk of it, whatever it is, 10%, whatever. And then there's transfer fees. It's all about money. It's always going to be about money, which is understandable, guys. It is so understandable. It's all we work to make money. If you believe you're worth more, you should go somewhere where you believe you're being paid your worth. Because then you're happy. If you believe you're being valued, you're happy. Where my problem lies is that Mo Salah should feel valued if he becomes the highest paid player on the team. Even if that's 221K a week, which is 1K more than Virgil van Dijk, you would still be valued as the best player on the team. If you believe you're the best employee at where you work, they should pay you as such, the highest salary, highest hourly wage, whatever. But let's say we were only offering Mo Salah 210K a week. Then it's a problem with the club because Mo Salah should be making the most. But we cannot expect them to break their wage structure. Can't do it. Let's go back to the chat. Let's go to Alexi here, another channel legend. Salah will ruin his career if he leaves us. Sure, he'll make better money, but I promise you trying to fit in on a new team at 30 years old will not work for him. And I agree 100%. He's at the back nine of his career. At 30 years old, you leave to go to another club. It's just not going to work out for you, man. You've established yourself with Liverpool Football Club. You've established yourself with this club, with the fans, with the culture, with the city, with the system. How are you going to start over? That is one of the hardest things to do. It's absolutely crazy. Alexi, good take there, man. CB Norwood said he follows Mo's agent on Twitter. Let us know. Let us know what's going on here. Pip Jim, what's going on? Happy for him to be the highest paid player, but we shouldn't be destroying the wage structure. 157%. 157%. You can't expect the team to break the wage structure. You can't do it. We all want Mo Salah to be the highest paid player on the team, which he absolutely should be. But you cannot expect to be you cannot ask for double what Van Dijk is making. You can't do it. What does that say to every other player who's helped the team get to where they're at? Liverpool Football Club is run like a family. It's not like Man United and Man City where Rashford and De Gea are making 350K plus, and then you got other players making under 100. There's not a huge gap in what our players make. It's just how the club is run. And yeah, Spence, not 158. 157, my friend. That's it. Let's go back up here. CBS, does anyone else feel Mo and Mane have not been the same since AFCON? One thing I want to say is that Mane in that center forward role has been phenomenal. I think Mo Salah in the center forward role has been great. I like him up there. I really do. Because Luis Diaz on that wing is a problem. So look, we've spent a lot of time on the Mo Salah contract situation. Let's transition to the injury because, he was getting treatment. And what concerns me about the injury, I mean, oh God, my logo is blocking the thing. It's all right. Y'all can deal with it. Or maybe I can take it away. There we go. Just so you guys can read it. So he required medical treatment yesterday. Okay, and Klopp, there's not much we know. Klopp said we will see. He, meaning Mo Salah, thinks it's not serious, but you can see when Mo Salah is sitting down, then something is not 100% right. I think it was the situation before when he hit the ball and got blocked. He wanted to shoot and got blocked. I think the foot got slightly overstretched. We have to see. The last thing we need right now is a Mo Salah injury. We're getting down to crunch time in the season. Okay? Of course, we have players to cover, but we don't want Mo Salah to be injured. It's the last thing we want. That on top of the fact that we can't get a contract negotiated for him. I don't know, guys. The more I talk about this, the more I really think that is this going to be another situation where a player walks for free or we sell him regardless, and then we just go on and we continue to get better as a club? I can't see it with Mo Salah. I could see it with Emery Chan, with Alana. Coutinho, I thought the world was over when we sold Coutinho. This is almost worse than that. At the time, everything was run through Coutinho. Coutinho was like the filter of the team. Okay? He was like Jack Grealish was to Aston Villa. Mo Salah is a little different in the sense that we don't really run everything through him, but he finishes. He's the scorer. He's the guy. So if we let him walk, my worry is what's next? Is another guy just going to slot in and we're not even going to notice Mo Salah's gone? Part of me thinks that's what's going to happen. Part of me thinks that's how great this system under Klopp is, that you can just fill in anybody. But again, I don't know. I just can't imagine a team this good without Mo Salah in it, because once Mo Salah came, that's when everything started happening. But, that's me. All right, let's go back to the chat here. What we got? Ahmed here says Salah's going to sign, but he knows he can play games and get more money, so why not? Play the game. Can he go? Can he though, Ahmed? Can he play games and get more money? It didn't work with Emery Chan. It certainly didn't work with what's his face? Wijnaldum. I don't think Mo Salah is that arrogant. Maybe his agent is, but I don't think Mo Salah is that arrogant. Jericho here says they, FSG, want to sell him soon. Like it or not, we still a Moneyball club. Look, Jericho, and I agree. That's what I said. Think about this, guys. If we don't agree a contract, we have to sell him this summer because he will be free to negotiate with other clubs come January. It's kind of crazy to think about. What else we got? Jason Chadburn. I haven't confirmed this, but I did see the report. PSG have offered him $600K a week. This is what's so weird about European football, in the sense that contracts, when you look at American sports, especially, it's really apparent in the NBA too, but you can't tamper with players while they're under contract at a different club. You can't just go and offer a player this amount of money. Like, for example, LeBron James plays for the Lakers right now. There's links he wants to go back to Cleveland, or that he's going to be reunited with Cleveland. Cleveland can't just go to call LeBron James and say, hey, look, we can offer you the Supermax deal. You can't do it. It's like it's against policy. You can't do it. You can't negotiate anything with a player unless they're a free agent or they're coming up on the end of their contract. You just can't do it. Now, of course, does it happen? Yeah. Do players talk? Of course. But you can't do it. You're not supposed to. So this is what's crazy, is that if Salah knows PSG are offering him $600K a week, first off, what's the incentive to go there? The money. What's the disincentive to go there? It's PSG. Why would you want to go and play for a hollow club? It is the polar opposite if you left Liverpool to go to PSG. The polar opposite. You're going from a club with diehard fans where their blood runs Liverpool red. Where born and bred players in the city of Liverpool come up and are gods in the team. Fans worship you. The club is a family. And you would go to PSG for a payday when the club is full of superstar talent with zero team chemistry. Zero team chemistry. You have Messi. You have Mbappe, who's most likely leaving. Icardi, Di Maria. Why would you want to go to that team? There's so many players that are going to overshadow you, number one. Number two, let's say he's going to replace Mbappe, right? Let's just say that's why he's going to go there. Salah is an out-and-out right forward, right striker, winger. That is his position. He doesn't play anywhere else. I mean, he filters over sometimes in mid-game. But that's Messi's spot. That's Di Maria's spot. Where's he going to fit in? My mom here. with a great take. I love Mo, but he does not single-handedly win games. Has he? Sure. Sure. Has he had moments where he has just taken control of a game? Sure. But Mo himself, people may get upset with this. Mo himself rarely creates. He does have assists. Consistently, he gets a great number of assists, even this season. But how often do you see Mo pick up the ball in midfield, dribble? If it's not on a break, a counterattack, how often do you see Mo, with the exception of the Southampton breakaway a couple seasons ago, pick the ball up at midfield, dribble through defenders, and finish? There was a point in time where he was doing that because teams did not know how to game plan for him. And like I said, not on the counterattack. On the counterattack, it's different. It's a team effort. It's 11 players. And Iglesias right here. John Henry's not afraid to show the door to any players. He's not. And criticize them all you want. Criticize FSG all you want. You got to respect a club that sticks to their values and their business model. You kind of have to. Because the second a player gets the best of the administration, there's no respect there. And I'm telling you, all the players, past and present, get pissed. It would upset the locker room so much because I'm telling you, players have tried to negotiate for more money. No question in my mind. It would be really bad. It would be really bad. All right. Let's go down to the bottom here. Oh, sorry. Red goals here. Perhaps we may be getting a little ahead of ourselves with this speculation over Salah's contract. Sparked by a few emojis. We need to calm down. None of us know what's going on yet. That's a fair point. It's a fair point. It's a very, very good way to look at it, considering he has over a year before his contract expires. But I will present this with you. Like I said, he's free to negotiate 6 months in advance with other clubs. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we can sell. No, we can. We can sell. I think. Can we sell 6 months in advance? Or is it once that time comes, they're free to negotiate? I don't know. Let's just pretend we have to sell him this summer. Okay. Most likely, the club will just keep him until the end of his contract. That's most likely what's going to happen. Unless he signs an extension, of course. But yeah, maybe we do need to calm down. But it's also concerning. Guys, it is also very concerning. Eric's here says, Mo is almost 30. That has to be considered as well. Absolutely. Absolutely has to be considered. Are you going to give a player another 4 or 5 year extension that's going to take him into his mid-30s? Okay. And not to mention, he has another year left on his current deal. So the new deal wouldn't even kick in. I think a lot of people are realizing now that, despite how great Mo Salah is, if he was 27, 28, that's fine. But guys, remember, he extended his contract. After that first season or second season, he extended his contract. He got a pay bump, and he extended for another 5 years. We've already given him an extension. This will be his second extension with the club. You got to think about it. You got to think about how significant that would be. Because God forbid he has a fall off in form. Not only did you break your wage structure and upset everyone in the dressing room because you went against everything you've been telling every player since FSG took over for this one player, but 2, the player you did it for fell off. Like, imagine if that happened. That would be horrible for everyone involved. Oh boy, not him. What's going on? Good to see you. If Mo's getting money, Van Dijk needs it as well. I would pay him more than 400, honestly. Look, Van Dijk he was happy to sign that extension at 220. Happy to do it. Van Dijk's not an idiot. Van Dijk knows what he has. You also got to look at Van Dijk's history. Celtic, Southampton, Liverpool. You know, Van Dijk was always trying to find his way to the Premier League. And, so was Mo Salah. That's why this doesn't make any sense to me. It comes down to the agent for me. You're playing for the best team in the world at the moment. Like, come on. Maybe not talent-wise, but even so, talent-wise, we're in the conversation. But in consistency, manager, fans, you are playing for the best team in the world. Do you really want to throw that away for a payday? That's the most selfish thing I've ever heard. I get it, but it's still the most selfish thing I've ever heard. If you truly feel that you need to be valued that much to triple your pay, go ahead. Really, go ahead at that point. If it were me, number one, I'm already getting paid enough. If I'm getting paid any of these guys' salaries, that's fine with me. That's fine. You could pay me $50K a week. You could probably pay me $10K a week, and I'd be happy. Right? $600K a week? Do you need that much? To go to a club that's struggling to advance past the round of 16 in the Champions League? Like, would you rather, is winning more important to you or is getting paid? That's really what this comes down to. There's no doubt there's a contract offer on the table for Mo Salah, whether he likes the offer or not. All he has to do is sign. Jason Chadburn's in the right here. FSG are doing it the right way. I agree. Now. In my video, I see both sides of it. And in my video, I expressed the first side of it that we talked about at the beginning. That was, are we not extending a contract to him or a lucrative one that values him? Now I see it differently. Now I see it as, I'm not saying Salah's being greedy because it's not Salah, it's the agent. I have no doubt in my mind that Salah just wants to stay, but he has given the reins over to the agent. The agent is trying to negotiate for more money. And there's no doubt in my mind that the agent is telling Mo Salah, look, this is what they're offering you. You can get this much at another club. Mo Salah's weighing the options right now. Deep down, I think Mo Salah will sign and stay. Deep down, I do. But if we can't expect players like Gini Wijnaldum to sign, how can we expect players like Mo Salah to? There is an argument to be made. You got to get the money while it's in front of you. While you're able to make the money, you have to make the most money possible. And that's understandable. Seriously, it is. While you're able to make money, you have to make as much as possible. Athletes specifically. Because who knows? Mo Salah, I'm not even going to say it, but God forbid, once his contract's up with us and he's not associated with Liverpool anymore, he could have a he could have a career-ending injury like that. Goes up for a header, comes down wrong, tears everything in his knee. It's happened before. Let's not forget, every player has always wanted. This is literally what I was just saying. That's perfect. Yep. Oh, man. It's just absolutely crazy, guys. Ahmed says, a common theme that's missed by Liverpool fans, including me at the beginning, is Salah's commerciality. It's definitely double the value of Van Dijk. Sells fourth most shirts after Messi, CR7, and Lewandowski. Fair. Great point. If I was in Salah's situation and I was going to the negotiating table, I would 100% bring this up. If I was Salah or Salah's agent, whatever, I'd be like, "Look, when was the last time you had a player contribute this many goals?" Well, actually, that's not a great argument because then FSG or whoever's at the negotiating table would just come back and be like, "Oh, well, we had Suarez, we had Torres, we had Owen, we had," you just go down the table. None of them made as much. But this is another one. The commerciality. I'd say look at what we've brought to this club. Mo Salah's ambassador. He's an ambassador for all of Egypt. He's a god, a king. It's not just about the value of the player on the field. It's about what he brings to the fan base, whether it's revenue from, commercial things like merchandise. These are all things that got to be taken into account. But I mean, FSG aren't stupid. I know that there's clauses in these contracts that pay players based on this stuff. There's no doubt. In addition to winning trophies, appearances, goals, assists, whatever, there's definitely stuff in there like if this many amount of shirts get sold, you get this amount. It's just unreal. It's just unreal. Sir Oswald, what's going on? Keegan left and we bought Dalglish. Rush left. This is what I've been seeing going around social media as well, is that, we always know what's next. And this is kind of what I was getting at earlier is the fact that I can't currently see life after Salah, but think about it. It hasn't stopped us before from selling players or letting players go. Life goes on. And honestly, when players leave, the club has gotten better, at least under Klopp. Look. Coutinho left. Club got better. Emre Can left. Club got better. Lallana, Wijnaldum left. Club got better. It's almost as if the players that are currently at the club, we value them so much. We love them. We respect them. And therefore, if we can't reach an agreement, we let them run down their contract. We don't sell them. We let them run down their contract because then that says we want you here for as long as possible. We don't want to just sell you for money. You're more than that to us. But we have someone ready to come in and take your place. What else we got? Dermot. Why do these players need so much money when they're already on multi-million-pound contracts? Surely can't be the main issue. Look, I agree. Guys, we'll never understand because we're not world-class athletes. But when you have the opportunity to make as much money as possible, you take it. You have to. You absolutely have to as an athlete because you don't know when your career is over. But at this point in Salah's career, he should have made enough money to where he doesn't really need that much of a pay increase. Okay. Let's put it in a different way. Say Mo Salah was still playing for a club in Egypt, right? He's on a lower level contract. Say he was only getting like $5,000 or £10,000 a week, dollars a week, right? And the club was offering him like an extra $5,000 a week to stay. With that amount of money, it's different than, say, if Liverpool came in from there and were offering him $150,000 to come. Then you look at it like, okay, that's generational money. That's not just salary money where I can put a little bit away and be comfortable for the rest of my life. That's generational wealth money where I can ensure my family is taken care of for generations. And he currently has that. If he's, smart with his money, which I believe he is. But then, if say PSG is coming in with $600,000, you're looking at that going, wow, I'll never get offered that again. Even if he goes and his career goes to crap, he's still getting that amount of money. And to some players, that's fulfilling. Even if they're not doing great on the field, they are content as long as they're getting paid. That's the divide between love for the sport and treating it as a career or a job. That's the That's honestly the human what's the word I'm looking for? The human battle with everyone. You want to find a career you're passionate about, but you also want to make money. What's What's it worth to you? Jason brings up another point here. Once we win all 4 trophies this season, he'll leave. Will he have anything left to achieve with Liverpool if we win the quad? Which I think might happen. All right. Ahmed here. I don't think we should let Salah run his contract. We can get 75, 100 mil, so why not? We can get more than that, though. Even if we sold him this summer, we could get way more than that. It would get us Bellingham money, and we can sign another forward. Jota is prolific, and Luis Diaz looks like a player. That's another thing, dude. Luis Diaz is insane. Absolutely insane. Here's another thing I wanted to touch on real quick. In regards to Luis Diaz. I talked about how I love Mane. I see Mane in the center forward role. Luis Diaz playing out on the left. We haven't had a player that likes to cut back in on his right that plays left wing since Coutinho. Mane will do it, but I'm telling you guys, watch Mane. If he's playing left wing and he gets that ball, he will always push the end line. 90% of the time pushes the end line. He likes to go towards the end line. We really have not had a player who likes to just cut back in on his right and rip curlers. And it looks like we have that player now. We have that versatility. We're in such a good place as a club right now. We are in such a good place. We have all the leverage with this Salah situation, with everything. The fans are behind us. In hindsight, when we look back at this point in time, it's just going to be another bump in the road. It's just going to be another bump in the road. Regardless of what happens, whether Salah stays or he goes, it's going to be another bump in the road. I really do not see a scenario where if Salah leaves, the club crumbles. Maybe we'll struggle with production. Maybe we won't be the top goal scorers in the league, but I do not see a world where we struggle to find it again. I don't. Abdul here. Diaz reminds me of a young Nani. Hope his end product improves, though. Fair. Liz, I see a definitive win against Arsenal on Wednesday. We have an awesome squad, and I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, looking forward. Okay. Let's look at what we got in the Premier League. Okay. Wednesday, Arsenal hosting Liverpool at the Emirates. Big game. Okay. Previous matchups, we've had them. We've just absolutely destroyed Arsenal. Back in November, we beat them 4-0. And then in April of 2021, we beat them 3-0 and then 3-1. We've had their number. But when we look at the form guide, we're both in great form. Both squads are in excellent form. Arsenal have won 4 of their last 5. We are on an 8 consecutive win streak, but we've obviously won our last 5. Arsenal are in 5th in the table. 5th in the table. They actually have had a great season. As much as we love to criticize Arsenal for their lack of talent and their lack of consistency, they've had a great season. They've really turned it around. I thought they were going to let Arteta go towards the end of last season, even at the beginning of this season, but they've really turned it around. They have 15 wins and only 7 losses. They're averaging more than 1.5 goals a match. Of course, we're the top goal scorers in the league, so we're averaging 2.6. That's what I like to see. It'll be a great match. It'll be a great match, a definitive match, a decisive match in the title run. And I think Man City play Arsenal as well. Let me take a look at that. They've got to play. They've got to be playing Arsenal coming up. Let me just look up Man City's schedule real quick. We almost have the same exact schedule going forward. So they don't. Actually, they do not play Arsenal. So Man City coming up. Their Brighton match was postponed, but they have Burnley, us, Wolves, Watford, Leeds, Newcastle, West Ham, Aston Villa. Okay. But this Arsenal match for us is probably going to be our most difficult match aside from City for the remainder of the season. And we play Everton again. Crucial match coming up. 67 says, if we're discussing the sale of Salah, I don't want to hear Bowen's name, please. Yeah. And yeah, guys, what I'll do is I'm going to edit the first like 40 minutes of the show, which is where we discuss all the Salah situations. I'll put up videos of that, and then you guys can go over into the comments and further discuss this because we are moving on here. But yeah, let's go. Abdul says Arsenal still have an Jesus, I can't talk. Inferiority complex against the big boys. They always crumble when tested. Yes, currently, but they are finding that mentality. Let's look at the Wolves match recently. They're down 1-0 pretty much the whole game. Last 10 minutes, they come in and score 2 goals, end up winning it. That's something that not just you have to have a strong mentality for that, especially when Wolves scored so early. You're down the whole game, you're battling, and you end up coming back and winning. This is not a cakewalk game. I know we've had their number. It very well could be a blowout, but this is by no means a cakewalk game. Liverpool need to go in with a strong mentality. One slip up, I mean, we're still in the battle for the Premier League. There's no question. We're still in the battle for the Premier League. But you can't slip up. Every game is an opportunity to win the league in essence. Every game. Man. Must-win game for Leeds today. Yeah, man, Leeds are struggling. Is Chelsea still a thing? Yeah, what's going on with Chelsea, man? The assets were frozen. Abramovich or whatever his name is, That's crazy. That's crazy. And Thomas Tuchel came out and he was like, as long as we have shirts and as long as the bus is full of fuel, we'll show up and play. Which I mean, yeah, duh. Just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Arnika Cash, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a while. So yeah, guys, coming up, Arsenal, big match. I think the main thing from this week has been the Salah situation, both the injury and what's been happening with him and his contract. For guys, it's just a matter of it strictly comes down to a matter of how the club run things. And are we going to let one player, regardless of how great he has been or he is or is going to be, does he change that? I think the answer is no. We have obviously extended a lucrative offer to him. And when I say lucrative, I mean more than any other player on the team. There's no question. The offer is going to make him the highest paid player, maybe even in Liverpool's history. But historically, we're not a club that just offers big paydays to players. It's just not how the club is run. Players come here knowing that. And so, when the time comes, because like I said, Mo Salah was never expected to be as good as he's been for us. When the time comes to where, hey, he's questioning his value, maybe I'm worth more. This happens. These negotiations, these battles with the media, Fabrizio Romano tweet, Salah's agent coming out and saying this and saying that. It's a very interesting situation. Very interesting situation. And I do appreciate everyone's thoughts. All of your thoughts, this is what has made me kind of rethink after putting that video out. Like, what's going on? What's the situation with Salah? I need to see both sides of it. You can't look at something one way. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And certainly in this scenario, there's several variables going on. So I do appreciate you guys opening up my mind and a different way to think of things. we'll just have to wait and see what happens. You know, we're not a club that sells unless a player has expressed his desire to leave the club. In which case, it would be counterproductive for us to let him run his contract out because then it affects the dressing room. But if a player just wants to leave at the end of his contract for more money, or we can't reach an agreement with money, we usually let them just run their contract out. And like I said, that says both them, we want you here for as long as possible. And it's not a slight to the player like, hey, we're selling you. That's where we're at, Reds. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Thanks for sticking with me without Steve. I love all you guys. Make sure if you're new to the channel and this is your first time, subscribe. Subscribe. And if you enjoyed this chat, give it a thumbs up. That helps the YouTube algorithm. That says to YouTube, hey, this video was enjoyable to me. Show me more videos from Nothing But Reds in the future and show me more videos like this. Thank you to everyone. Liz, CB Norwood, Doug, what's going on? Dermot and Glace67, Jason Chadburn with some hot takes in here. Shayna, everyone, Texas fan, everyone. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate you being here with me on this Sunday. And until next time, Reds,